Somebody's returning to the playoffs. I wonder who. Yeah, buddy. 7 straight years. The Colorado Avalanche are playoff bound, and all we had to do was dismantle the Predators. That's it. We made it look easy. It wasn't, but we made it look easy. We had our backs to the wall again. For one, it was a comeback win. We were down by 2 goals twice, and another, the referees refused to call anything on Nashville, but we rose above it like we always do. That's kind of been our MO coming back, because we have we come back from 3-0 deficit 4 times, though technically that last one, the last 3-0 comeback was actually a 4-0 comeback, and that's something. So when our backs are against the wall, that's when we tear it up, and it's amazing, you know. And fittingly, I'm wearing this tee right here. This is my 2018 Stanley Cup playoff T-shirt, and I remember that year because that was the season that the trade happened, with the 3-team trade with Ottawa and Nashville, the Matt Duchene trade, and all of a sudden we have this winning tear when it counted in March, and then it leads us to making the playoffs. Now I remember, I still to this day say that was ahead of schedule, because I kind of thought even with the tear we would probably be like 1 or 2 points out. Instead, we win that final game because the St. Louis Blues, who had that last spot, kind of fizzled in that final week. And we win that final game against St. Louis, and we get in, and it just ballooned from there. I'll never forget that year. Now, I didn't think, honestly, I knew we weren't going to make it past round 1. We were just happy to be there, you know, because nobody had us there. We were coming off our worst season in franchise history. Okay, 48 points total. And then we nearly doubled the point total, and we somehow make it. And we made it a series against the Nashville team, who, number 1, was coming off going to the final, and number 2, won the President's Trophy. We had no right to go toe-to-toe with that team, but we did. We made it last 6 games. And from that point on, it just ballooned from there. A year later, we finally win a series, dismantling a Flames team who finished number 1 overall in the Western Conference, and almost made the conference final, and then ended up in the lottery because the Ottawa Senators were nice enough to suck that year. And of course, it's followed by 2 more second-round exits. Of course, that last one in 21 was gut-wrenching because we lost to Vegas, and McKinnon was very frustrated because it had been his 8th season, and he still hadn't won. But then the following year, the 21-22 season, this happened. A 5-year journey led us to this, and it was absolutely magical. I remember that year. I knew, something told me. I knew right before the season started. Actually, I knew right after McKinnon voiced his frustration after we got eliminated in 21. I knew the following year we would take it. I just had that feeling. He was motivated, and that motivated everybody else. So we made the right moves in that deadline, and it turned into this. It turned into this, a very magical year. And, of course, that was 2 years ago. Last year, we're coming off getting ousted by Seattle, that upset in the first round. Now, that didn't really hurt our stock, thankfully, because, you know, they say, well, cup hangover is what they say. But anyway. I'm just elated that we are that team again. I've been an Avs fan since our last years as the Quebec Nordiques, and I still to this day remember those years. I was in junior high, the late 90s, or in the 2000s, when the Avs were that team. We were one of those teams that was always a threat to win, even with Detroit in there, who was kind of a bigger threat, and they kept making it every year. And I remember, of course, when the Nordiques moved to Denver, that 95-96 season, the first year we won. And then we finally won in 2001 after back-to-back years of coming up short in Game 7 against Dallas. And we remained that team, and I still remember '03 when Minnesota beat us out, and I was admittedly bitter about it because I knew then that was kind of the end of the Avs stock as that championship team. I kind of knew that was coming to an end, and it was a long journey that took about what it took 21 years for us to get this. And for the way we're playing, it looks like we're not going to have to wait even close to that long. And I'm a bit emotional about it because I've been a big fan of this team for many years, since I was since I was about 8 years old, since the team was in Quebec. So it's amazing that we're not only we're that team, and we're that dangerous team. And Cup number 4, I seriously think it's going to happen. I see no reason why we shouldn't win, but phase 1's complete. We made it. Now we got to complete phase 2. Get in the Central Division. It's very close between us and Dallas, and nobody's beating them. Seattle didn't do it, but we'll see what the remaining days of the season have in store for us. So anyway, that is my latest Avalanche recap. Congrats, boys. We're in. Now the rest needs to play itself out. So if you like this video, click the like button. If you're on YouTube, click subscribe. If you want more, if you're on TikTok, feel free to hit that follow button. My stories feature. Check it out when you can, and forgive my almost blubbering. And I'll be back tomorrow, really, the next day, for a weekly recap. So stay tuned. Go Avs, go.